Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to make Daarni Pori, but in a very easy way. So for that, what we require is 340 grams of Toor Daal. I have washed it and put it in water for some time, say about half an hour, and remove the water. This Toor Daal is 340 grams. We'll be cooking this on a hot plate. For that, initially, we will be requiring 1 teaspoon of variali or anise in it, 550 milliliters of water, and little salt, very little, a pinch of salt, and a little bit of oil in it. Then later we'll be adding sugar to it, 360 grams of fine sugar. We will also be requiring elchi, that is cardamom, nutmeg, that is jaifal, and Javentri powder, all in equal quantity. And this powder I always have ready at my place, so you can use it for all your sweets for that matter. I have taken 40 grams of almonds and 40 grams of pistachio, and you can cut it with your hand with the knife, or I use this slicer. I'm sure a slicer like this you would get in Amazon, wherever you are in the world. And then over here I have used some Charoli, some golden Sultana, and cashew nuts broken into small pieces. And you use broken cashew nuts only because they are cheap. All these nuts we will put together in one, because all of them will be going together. And we'll be using essence. I prefer using ice cream essence for the Daarni Pori, but you can use rose essence, you can even use vanilla essence depending on your taste. So let's start making the Daarni Pori. For that we add water in the cooker and take anise or variali and with a teaspoon just add 1 teaspoon inside. In this we add just a dash of oil, so that after cooking the dal doesn't stick at the bottom. And very little chimti bhar, very little, just a little dash of salt, very little, because finally this is going to be sweet. We shall close this and then put it on the hot plate. After the dal is cooked, we'll be using for the covering this puff pastry. We have this long rolls, and if I cut it half is enough for one. So I have taken 2 puff pastries. I have taken a microwave box. I'll make you understand why I have taken a microwave box. Because we are not going to, after this dal is over, we are not going to thicken the dal. on the hot plate, rather than that, make it much easier, and we'll be putting it into the microwave and thickening it along with the sugar. Here I have for the oven an oven tray with butter paper on it to bake the Darni Pori, and we are not going to use a rolling pin to roll the Darni Pori. We are going to use this small plate, stainless steel. You can use even a top of a stainless steel box. Put the whole thing inside and press it nicely with this plate on top. It will take a nice round shape. So there is no need, no need for a rolling pin. Only thing what we will require for this is a little Maida, so that it doesn't stick on the metal plate. Put the cooker on the hot plate, turn it full. When the first whistle goes on, just tap it, close the hot plate or your stove, and sorry, not your stove. On your stove, you got to give it another 10 minutes at least, and then switch it off. And when the cooker is cool down, we will be using the dal, as I said, in this microwave box. But before that, we'll have to put the sugar into the microwave box. This sugar is 360 grams, as I said, and to this we add a nice spoonful of pure ghee. Nice spoonful of pure ghee. Since the winter has started, not winter actually, but it is so cold, it is like winter in Europe, rather all over Europe. Everything thickens up, even the ghee and the butter thickens up, but no problem. When this hot dal goes into it, and we'll be mixing it with a wooden spoon, all this will melt, and then this whole thing, we shall be putting it in the microwave to thicken it up. You can do it even on a stove or a hot plate, but while you are thickening the dal, it starts bursting and you burn yourself. So to avoid this, we are going to do it straight away in the microwave. After the first whistle, just tap it, and on a hot plate, switch off the hot plate, because the hot plate retains heat. And on a stove or on gas, you put the stove to very low flame and leave it for 10 minutes and switch it off. And then let the cooker to cool down a little. Mix the dal immediately. You see, the dal is cooked. It's neither very thin nor very thick. We will pour all this dal, scraping it properly from the cooker, and see, as we added a little oil, the dal has not burned downstairs. You can just remove it. Remove all the dal in the cooker, and then with the help of your spoon, mix the sugar, the dal and the pure ghee nicely till all of it mixes well. Now the same thing, if you try thickening it up in a pan on fire, will take a very long time and chances of you burning. Mix it totally well. You got to mix it to such an extent that all the ghee melts and all the sugar which you have taken mixes into the dal. Now this we shall be putting in the microwave. Nothing to cover on the top. If you want, you can cover it up, but there is no need. And we put the microwave to 25 minutes. Then the dal is done or not, I will show it to you outside how much it should be cooked in the microwave. And if we feel it is not enough, we can put it back in the microwave for another 5 to 6 minutes. Now that 25 minutes are over, we take this out and check it if it is thick enough. Perfect. This is how it has to be. Now, at this time, we add all the nuts into it and mix them well. To this, we add the essence. I will use the top, one full top, which is as much as small teaspoonful. It is practically finished, so I'll just see if any more drops come out of it. No. So this much essence is okay, 1 teaspoon. I exactly had 1 teaspoon of essence. Oh, I can smell it so nice over here. And here I add a nice teaspoon full of elchi, jaifal and Javentri powder, which I have ready in my house, and mix everything well. Some people like adding candied fruit peels to it, what we call in India tutti frutti. Go ahead and add it, but I don't like it. Now this we leave to cool down a little. It is very hot. And when it is cold, we will be making balls of about 440 to 450 grams, and from this we'll be getting 3 balls. Now I wanted to explain, if you don't get these rolls, buy from a bakery where they make puff pastry, or you make it yourself if you can. You can go into the internet, you can go into the or just Google it, how to make easy way of making puff pastry, and you'll get a complete recipe over there. So if you get that puff pastry, just roll it to 4 inches in length, 4 inches in breadth, and about 1.5 inch thick. And for this, you will require the Maida and the rolling pin, and you roll it into a nice big square till it comes to 3 millimeters thick. And when you get from the bakery, you make into small pieces like this, cut it, put it in a plastic, and leave it in the deep freezer. And whenever you require it, just remove it from the deep freezer and use it. Well, you put the dal for cooling. Make it a point after every few minutes that you turn it, because what happens is on the top it cools down, but at the bottom it is very, very hot. You can't even touch it. You might see the steam coming out literally. See? I don't know if you can see it, but steam is still coming out. So go on turning it every few minutes till it cools down and it hardens up still. Now that it is nice and cold and hardened up, I have wetted my hands so that it doesn't stick on my hand. We'll be weighing each ball 400 and try to be a little exact. Okay, 45 and okay. We make it into a ball, a nice round ball, and put it onto a plate. This way we go on making 3 nice round balls. Now that we have 3 nice round balls, each one is exactly 450 grams. You have to literally scrape everything what is in the box. Then you get exact 3 balls of 350 grams. We spread our pastry nicely, and as I said, half is enough for one. So we'll make it exactly into half. And cut it in the middle. Now we put one ball on top of this and try to cover up all this nicely, pressing it on the sides and then on the top, just turning it a little, and what is excess, just cut it off a little. So this way we make our balls into the pastry. Do the same. Make this third ball twist it a little, cut the excess, put it away, and close this nicely, pressing it on all the sides so that it sticks properly. We take the small thali, take a little Maida in it, and now we'll see how fast things go. Take your first Darni Pori, or rather the pastry filled with the dal. Tap it a little with your hand, and then here is the trick. Take a plate or a flat dhakan or a lid and go ahead and press it. Pick it up. You have a nice round Darni Pori. You might come across certain nuts which come a little up. Press the pastry towards the outer side and that will be covering up the nuts. Remove the Darni Pori, remove the excess of Maida, take it in your hand, hold it firm, take water and pour it on the Darni Pori and apply it all over. Only on the top, not at the bottom. You can even use milk for that matter. And place the Darni Pori slowly over here. Now what has happened by using this or by this method, what happens is you get a nice round Darni Pori and all of them will be the same size. Now again, we do the same thing over here in the tray. Now I have already preheated my oven to 200 degrees. So what I do now is put this in the oven to bake and keep an eye on it that it doesn't burn and take too much of color. So we, after preheating at 200 degrees, we put it at 180 and let it bake. Now after 20 minutes I removed it from the oven. You got to check in your oven whether 20 or 22 minutes. As soon as it comes out, you apply pure ghee on it with either the back of the spoon or with a brush. Preferably a brush, but in a hurry while removing I couldn't find a brush fast, so I just am doing with the back of the spoon. Let it cool down, and after some time, don't try to pick it up immediately. It will break because it's so nice thin cover. I like my Darni Pori with thin covers rather than having those thick ones. After it cools down, I will plate it in a small plate. See how beautiful the Darni Pori looks after cutting it. Nice thin layer and a thick filling of dal with nuts in it. This is how your Darni Pori should look as a finishing product after being cold and cut. So after cooling down, we plate it. You can have this cold, you can have this warm, but when it is nice and cold and you want to make it warm, do not heat it in microwave. It becomes leathery. Rather, take a frying pan, put a little pure ghee and make it in the frying pan, turning it on both the sides to make it warm. Or the simplest thing to do is put it in your microwave, put it in your oven for 180 degrees for say about 10 minutes or so. It will be nice and warm. Remove it, cut it and enjoy it. Do try this way of making Darni Pori. I'm sure you would love it. So, till next time, bye bye, au revoir and auf Wiedersehen.